Get ready, guys, because in this video, you're going to learn how to bag the 10x to 100x cryptocurrencies during a bull market. Let's get into this. All right, guys, welcome back. This is Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro, and I have a lot of new people that are on the channel. Yay! And I want to help you out by teaching you one of the methods that I use to find those 10x to 100x cryptocurrency plays before a bull market hits. So I've got an example that has the chart that shows what you want to see in a coin. So we're going to use this example, and then I'm going to draw you a picture of a fictitious token and show you the 4 phases of development that any cryptocurrency or even a stock on the stock market goes through that repeats all throughout history. This will be the first one of several learning videos that I'm going to put together for you. And we're going to call this Crypto 101, just the basics so you can get your degree in cryptocurrency and learn how to be a crypto pro. I've been doing this for 3 years, and I played the stock market 20 years ago, or longer actually, and I had a heck of a time doing technical analysis on penny stocks on the OTCBB and also on the NASDAQ, and that's how I learned this skill and where I learned about the 4 phases of stocks, and that translates exactly to cryptocurrency. So let's just jump straight into this and explain to you what you're looking for in the charts. All right, get rid of that. Now, here we have, let's scrunch this down. We've got an example chart. This is just an example. Do not go out and buy this coin. I'm telling you right now, this is not one that I'm recommended. It's just for the sake of example. This is Time New Bank, and this is actually a token that I played for a nice 60-70% gain back during the 2017 bull run. And the chart is exactly what we want to look for on something that'll give you the 10x to 100x gains. A 100x return is really nice to have, especially for people like me when you're only investing a few $100s at a time. So, looking at this chart, here's the run up after 2017 when Bitcoin hit its all-time high of 19,000 at the end of December. And then the altcoin season hit right after that in the month of January. I'll never forget it. And so here we were at the peak of this project with Time New Bank, and it hit somewhere around 35 cents. I think I sold while it was on its way down. I was in denial for the peak, and that's going to be a point that I'm going to make during this video, how you can avoid hanging on too long and giving back all of the gains that you could have kept. Okay, so when I'm looking for something that I want the most massive gain, this is the type of chart that I am picturing. What we have in this chart is a major run up right here where it moons. And then all of a sudden you have this action going back and forth where it gets whipsawed. You have a correction, but then it jumps up again and then does this for quite some time, just up and down. And then it settles down and you go into this quiet time where it just is nice and flat and it lays low like a dog. I usually like to call these, this would be a dog. This is laying low, a dog laying on the ground, taking a nap, minding its business. These are the ones that I like to see. When you want that 100 bag return, you do not buy anywhere during this time period. If you want the 100x, you've got to get these things while they're laying low like a dog on the front porch on a sweaty hot day in the dirty South when it's 110 degrees. If that is a good enough picture to picture in your mind. That's a dog laying low. He ain't getting up for anything. He's just a lazy dog not getting off the porch. Okay, so when you are investing in a project that has good fundamental strength, in other words, it's a project that has a good use case. Say, for example, Key, Self-Key. It's one that was laying down low like a dog, and it met the requirement that it had great fundamental strength, great use case, and a few other things like a good circulating supply and total supply. We'll get into that. But at any rate, when I bought Self-Key, it was down here in this area when it's laying down low like a dog. And here's the thing. When it's down here and it's flatlining, you've got major upside when you buy it before the breakout. Now, how do you get this? Most of the time, people will jump into a play after the FOMO hits. Once all the attention has gone on after the big spike, like right during this time period here, when it hits that first peak and then it moves up and people start to buy in on the way up. That is not the way you want to do it. Usually you'll have 10x to 50x that happens before you even get halfway through this first run. That's not what you want to do. You want to get it down here while it's laying low like a dog. Okay, so when it jumps up out of this sleep, it's going to moon and you have a chance to get that 100x return, because on this logarithmic scale, you can't really see it here, but the price of Time New Bank right now is less than 0.002. Now you go ahead and do the math. A 10x would take it to 2 cents. So it'd be like right here. A 100x would take it to 20 cents right here. So this one, before it hit this spike, before 2017, it was more than a 100x run. That's what you want to look for. Here's the other clue that I look for. It's on the on-balance volume. Now, as I always explain, the on-balance volume is just an approximation. It's not exact. The concept is that they add the bars that close with a green and the bars that close with a red, and they do a little mathematical computation, and if it turns out that it's a good close, they'll add that to the on-balance volume for accumulation. If it's a red close, then they do the mathematical computation and they subtract that. So what on-balance volume is trying to depict is, are the insiders loading up or are they getting rid of this token, this project? Here you can see as we are moving through this area here, all of a sudden it takes a level up, another level up, another level up, and this is real. Even though, like I said, don't buy this. This is not a good one, but this on balance volume is exactly what you want to look for. What the insiders do, the institutional investors buy small amounts at a time because they don't want to tip off the newbies and cause the frenzy like this before they get their bags loaded. So if they load their bags over time quietly and not wake everybody up as to what's going on, by the time we keep leveling up and we've gotten here, nobody's paying attention, but they've got a freaking pile of this thing by the time you get to the stage where they're ready to start moving massive volume and cause a frenzy. So then when the frenzy happens, it moons, and while it's mooning, they are selling off. Okay, so you are buying what they're dumping, but the frenzy keeps pushing it on up. And by the time that you get to the top of this feeding frenzy up here, guess who's holding the bag? Yeah, that would be you, all the little hands. And then there's going to be nothing left to hold this thing up after this frenzy is done, when the institutional investors get out of this play, and then you're going to ride it. Whoops, let's get an arrow. You're going to ride this thing all the way down after that massive peak. It'll be you left holding the bag. Okay, so let's move on, and I'm going to draw a picture for you. Let's clear this. And all right, get rid of me. Let's jump over to whiteboard. I want to talk about the 4 phases of a stock. If I can get the oh boy, I can't get it up here. I'm gonna have to draw here because apparently I can't change my windows. All right, well, we'll just draw it here. Pretend that this line is not here, and I'm gonna draw on a fictitious cryptocurrency and tell you about the 4 phases of price movement that goes on. First, we're gonna start out with accumulation. And that's when it is laying low, like I said, laying low like a dog. This is down here in the dog days, and you just have this flat line going on. That's stage 1, okay? Stage 2 is when you get a bump, and then all of a sudden, we see volatility. This is called accumulation, and this is gonna go on until you get to step 3, which is markup. And then all of a sudden, it's gonna start doing this, and doing this, and then all of a sudden you're going to get the parabolic move, and it's going to moon out. Stage 4 is when the institutional investors have unloaded everything, and then you start to go into distribution, and it's going to whipsaw down like this until it goes all the way back down to nothing and quiets back down into the next long accumulation, which can go on for years. Now, in the stock market, this entire cycle usually takes 13 years. In cryptocurrency, this thing can complete within 3 to 5 years. I think it's closer to 3 years. So let's just go ahead and mark on here. We had phase 1, that's accumulation. And then we move into phase 2, consolidation, usually indicated by a bump in volume and a bump in the price. If I had volume bars in here, then what you would see is something like this. So first the volume would be like this, and then all of a sudden volume comes up out of nowhere and you start getting bars like this, okay? So volume goes up out of nowhere, all right? Then we go to phase 3, which is markup, and during markup, volume goes bananas. So you're going to see a huge spike in volume, something like this, until it gets like massive during the run up. And then we go to phase 4, which is distribution. And then at this point, the majority of that volume is going to be great big ugly red bars, as the insiders are already gone and it's the little guys left holding the bag. So this is the cycle that we look for. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat where you do not want to buy if you want a 10x return. You do not buy during phase 3 or 4. This is very dangerous. You're never going to get the 100x, okay? If you want a 10x return, then you might get lucky if you buy during the consolidation phase. If you want the 100x return, you want to buy during phase 1. And somebody is printing on my computer. What is this? Okay, my son is printing his AP calculus. Well, at least he's doing his homework. If he's going to disrupt the video, it might as well be because he's doing his homework. Look at that. He's a junior in high school. What a smart kid. I'll put that up there for him to come and get it. All right, so back to the chart. Buying in phase 1, accumulation, is when you get the 100 bagger. And what makes it so hard is that you can't see what's going on. You have no indication because there's no activity going on. But when you get that bump and you go to phase 2, this is a good idea. Now, DNT, if you remember the other day, what phase was DNT in just a few days ago when I shot that last video? Can you tell me what phase DNT was in? If you said 3, you were correct. Now, I bought DNT back here at the end of 1. Here's your homework. He's in here to get his calculus. You just made the video, son. Yeah. Tell everybody hi. Just say hi into the mic.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, that was Christian. And he is a budding crypto pro. He's learning. He's going to be watching this Crypto 101 video along with all my nieces, nephews, and my other kids. All right. So, I bought somewhere around here between 1 and 2. I think I was at 0.0077, which is kind of starting in the consolidation, but before it kind of moved up to the 1.5 cent to 2 cent range. We hit stage 3 and it mooned all the way up to 8 cents. Now, I don't think that we're going to move into stage 4 overall because I think this is still a consolidation, but once the correction is done, I might buy back in because we're running into a major bull market next fall. But we're probably not going to see the 8 cent price for a while. I mean, there's a chance it could. You never know. But if you want the biggest gains, stay in block 1 and block 2. Don't go and FOMO. Let me put this up here. Let me just write it up here really big. Okay. Whoops, let's get rid of that. And let's write FOMO right here. This is the FOMO stage in the black box, okay? And what can happen is whenever we get into the distribution phase, even while it's sinking here, people will still FOMO in when we get that first rebound wave. And then all of a sudden, everybody's going to be crying when it sinks down again. But then we get that second wave of the 5-step move. And then people get excited, they FOMO back in, and then they get depressed again as we move on down. So there's going to be A, B, C, D, E move, and we're going to go all the way back down to the accumulation phase down here. So if you bought at the wrong time, if you get one that is in this area here, you could wait anywhere from months to 2 to 3 years before you'll run this cycle again. So that's why it's very important for you to understand these cycles and know how dangerous it is to FOMO in when you wait for number 3. Not to saying that you can't get lucky. Maybe you can. You might. You know, if you come sailing in the middle here and then you jump out close to the top, hey, kudos to you. But I can't tell you how many times I've done that and I got burnt. And the only other advice that I'm going to give you is go in with a game plan of when you're going to get in and get out. Let's say when I bought in on DNT, it was at 0.0077, and I said at a 10x, I'm out. So we hit 9x. Here's the box that I drew for myself. So once we shot up here to the top of this box, I said, that's it. I am out. So I got out right there. Now the price kept going up. I could have made more money up here at 8 cents. But you know what? It's better to take it here and have some money than to hang in here and then have it flip on you and correct down to 5 cents and not get any return for your investment. So that is about all I have. This video's gone long enough. Let me know if this was valuable to you. Crypto 101, getting the basics. If it's helping you to understand, post in the comments below. And if you have a question or if you want to suggest the next topic for the learning series, I'd love to hear it. And then we can chat about it in the Telegram group. Come on in the Telegram group. Let's chop it up. Like and subscribe if you have not already. And let's have a good time with this. This is Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro, and I am out.